Well, you've made it past the on-foot intermission, or you've skipped it. I'm not going to judge, and now you find yourself here. What to do next? Greetings, Commanders. I am Dimebot, and welcome to my series on getting started in Elite Dangerous. We're going to be covering the basics of the game, the different careers, as well as some advanced tutorials that will help you out in maximizing making money. So, let's go ahead and get started. So you find yourself here. Select your package. Now, a lot of you are just going to have the Sidewinder. If you have spent some real-world money, then you may have an option for some other ships. These I have because I have done reviews on them. But we are going to go ahead and start with the bare bones Sidewinder in HIP 97950 with a balance of 250,000 credits. Let's go ahead and get started. So, this is the Sidewinder. This is your basic bare bones ship. It carries a couple of guns, it can carry a little bit of cargo, and it has a pretty paltry jump range of 7.29 or 7.75, depending on how much stuff you have on it, light years. Here you're going to be able to choose a name for your ship. I'm going to go with a classic Star Trek reference. And ship ID plate. And off we go. Here we go. Here's our pilot's license from the Pilots Federation Administration. Let's confirm. And let's go ahead and jump into the game. Once you have registered, you're going to be placed onto the space station, guys. Now, all space stations are not exactly the same, but they do offer the same amenities in most cases. The game's going to want you to go to Inner Astra to complete a flight tutorial. We're not going to do that. I'm going to leave that up to you guys in your own time. What we do want to do, though, is get familiar with those basic services that are available. So, let's go ahead and look around. First off, you're going to notice these terminals scattered around. These are reminiscent of what you will see in your ship. There are a couple of differences. You'll have your mission board. You'll have some administrative contacts. You'll also be able to edit your loadout here for on-foot stuff. This is your weapons, your flight suit. There are different suits that are specialized for different things. Feel free to get familiar with this menu. You're going to be using it a lot. Now, I mentioned on foot. Well, that's going to be where Pioneer Supplies comes in. So if you need guns, if you need suits, if you need ammo, just head on over to Pioneer Supplies right here and talk to the handy person that is here. So you can go ahead and purchase suits. Here are the three. The Dominator suit, this is your combat suit. The Maverick suit, this is one that's going to allow you to cut through things at bases. It's got the arc cutter. It's kind of a sort of an infiltration suit. And the Artemis suit, this is your science suit, basically. Got your genetic sampler. Eventually, you will probably want all three of these, but when we start talking about what career you want to specialize in, this is also where these suits do come into play. You can also get weapons here.
None of these guns will let you down.
You'll see that we have a variety of them. This is by no means all of them and not all of the grades. And you can also back out here and you can look for consumables, medkits, energy cells, grenades, that kind of thing. You'll notice the E-breach is not available here. Now, to reiterate, we are keeping this surface level. There are a lot of intricacies that we will get into in later videos, but now is not the time for it. Here is Enter Astra. This is where you would have done your tutorial.
Let me help you find the
You
ship
can also talk to them about their services. This is the Shipyard, where you can purchase ships. You'll see that this station has 6 available. And then a lot more that are unavailable. This is the full loadout of ships available in the game as of this video. The Mandalay will be coming very soon. Also, where you can manage your ships. You'll notice that I have 9 owned. Again, this is because of the ships that I bought for review.
When you're ready, Inter Astra will be happy to help you.
Once you're done with Inter Astra, there is the bartender. Bartenders are good for trading, and this is for different materials. We are not going to get deep into this right now. This is for a much later video. Just be aware that bartenders can be a good source to trade for materials. Next up, we're going to be talking about Frontline Solutions and Apex Interstellar Transport. Now, seeing as how we're in the starter system, Frontline is not really going to have anything for us. However, if you wanted to get involved in on-foot combat missions, this is where you would take them, and this is where you would come back to get paid for those on-foot combat bonds. You also have Apex Interstellar over here.
Welcome to Apex Interstellar. Where can we take you to?
And Apex basically is going to be a taxi service for you. You can book various shuttles to take you to different places. You will see all of these locations available here. Click on one and you can select a drop-off point, and you will be able to manipulate the map here, and you'll be able to see what your fee would be. This is basically if you don't want to go somewhere in your own ship. It is literally a space taxi. You can also book a long-range shuttle, as you can see here. Now, there are limits to how far they will, in fact, take you. So just know that you're not going to be going across the entire galaxy on one of those shuttles. So that covers the basics of what you will find on the spaceports. Let's go ahead and head down to our ship real quick. This is going to be where you're going to be spending the majority of your time. You'll see here it wants me to select the ship. Go ahead, hop in the elevator. No button press required. And here we are. Glorious, isn't she? Now, what you are looking for is this little red glow right here. Little blue glow, excuse me. This will recharge your suit energy, and you can hit E to board your ship. Now, if you have a ship that can support more than one crew member, it will ask you to select a seat here. Obviously, the ship does not. Go ahead and board. Now, remember earlier I said that screen that you can walk up to very closely resembles the screen you can see in your ship. That is the local services screen. You'll notice the major difference here is that we have a outfitting screen and also access to the Universal Cartographics and Crew Lounge, as well as the Commodities market. Now, outfitting is something that I do have a video on. It will be linked in the comments and description below, so feel free to take a look at that. I will go ahead and just say outfitting is where you, well, outfit your ship. This is where you put new stuff on it, new guns, new power plants, new thrusters, any new gadgets that you want to buy and put on your ship. This is where you will do that. Now, here is the mission board. Rather self-explanatory. You'll see the mission board and the passenger lounge, as well as community goals, not available right now. These are kind of MMO-style, community events that everybody can take part in. The passenger lounge is where you pick up passenger missions, and the mission board itself is where you can pick up other types of missions. Now, we could spend a whole video here, so just know that there are combat, transportation, freelance, operations, and support missions. We will get into these at a later date, along with Thargoid missions. These up here represent different factions that are present in the system. Again, we could spend a whole video on factions. However, just know that you have reputation and influence with each, and factions can gain and lose control of systems, which can affect the background economy situation. You'll hear that referred to as the BGS the longer you interact with the game. We're trying to keep it kind of top level here, so I'm not going to dive too deep. Just know that there are many different types of missions, as well as many different types of factions, and these factions are unique to systems and will change, and the availability of missions will change depending on which factions you choose to work for. Here you have the Commodities market. You buy and sell from here. This is an industrial system which will influence what it has available and what it wants as far as supply and demand. Again, there is a lot else to this menu. We are keeping it top level, so just know that if you want to do trading, this is where you come to check your prices and to buy and sell your cargo. Over here, you have your contacts list. Now, you'll notice that as I go through these menus, some of these seem to be very similar. That's because 2 of these are local to this system, and 2 of these are interstellar factors. The main difference here is that the people local to the system are mainly interested in combat bonds and things that happen in this system, whereas the interstellar factors can help you with things from out of this system. If you have a bounty from a system that's, say, 500 light years away, the interstellar factor can help you with that. These people are going to help you out with your intel packages, codex discoveries, bounty vouchers, fines if you have committed a crime and want to hand yourself in. You also have this combat bond guy. Yes, that is different than bounties. You're going to see the same for these interstellar factors. Right here, you also have the black market person, and you have a search and rescue contact, which is going to be the go-to for anything that you might happen to pick up, such as wreckage, personal effects, black boxes, that kind of thing. Then we have Universal Cartographics. If you are an explorer, this is where you come to sell your exploration data. It is extremely simple. It does exactly what it says on the tin. Crew Lounge. You are able to hire AI crew members if you have the need for it. Let's say you have a ship that can carry an onboard fighter and you don't have a friend to pilot that fighter for you. This is where you would come to get a crew member. You'll notice that harmless, mostly harmless, novice, competent. These mirror your own ranks, and they get progressively more expensive to hire, and they also take more of a profit share as you go. Our little 15,000 credit guy down here, he only wants 2%, whereas Mrs. Expert here, she wants 12% profit share. Lastly, you have local news. If you want to know what is going on in this system, and this is mainly to keep track of influence, this is where you would come. Now, in keeping this kind of top level, let's get familiar with our ship's cockpit real quick. Over here on the left, you have your nav menu. It's going to show you everything that is in this system, and you can set waypoints to all of it. You're also going to be able to see your transactions. This is where you would see your missions, your passengers, your claims, your fines, your bounties. Contacts, this is going to be for targeting things. This is also where you would contact the space station for docking. Over here, you're going to have the galaxy map and the system map. We will dive into those at a later juncture. Just know that the system map for this system looks like this. Obviously, every system will be different. And the galaxy map is where you're going to plot your routes around space. And the galaxy map, if you were not aware, is literally the galaxy. It looks like this. Up top here, we have your communications panel. This is mainly going to be used if you're in multi-crew or to check your mail. This is where you would see your history, where you would see things about your squadron, where you would matchmake with friends. Down below, you have your loadout. You can switch your suit loadouts. You can get in fighters or deploy them, and you can deploy your SRV, your surface vehicle, if you do have one. And over here on the right, you have your ship and personal status panel. You can see all your ship modules. You can see your fire groups. You have, say, lasers and kinetic weapons. You can set them to fire separately. You can see about your ship. You can see its functions. You can see flight assistance information. You can see your pilot preferences. And you can see your statistics right here. You can also see what's in your inventory. Some of this is going to be, again, for engineering. We are not going to take too close a look at it right now. You can also see your consumable storage right here. And you can see the status of the system that you are in. You can see your reputation with the various superpowers, your session log, your balance, and your various permits, because you cannot get to every system in the game without having certain permits. And then this is your playlist, which we are about to address, because here are the other things you should be familiar with. Galnet News is where you can catch up on the in-game story. This is how it is delivered. You can select items here to be put in your playlist, and they can be read to you by a text-to-speech voice in the game as you fly. You also are going to have your engineers. This is an entirely separate video. Be aware that it exists, and we will come back to that when it is time. You will also be able to see your codex. You'll be able to see training that you can do. Squadrons, if you choose to join one. Galactic powers. Again, once the new power play system comes out, we will be diving deep into this. But for now, let's take a look at the codex, which is the last main thing. Here, you'll be able to see everything about your session log. You'll be able to see your stats in all manner of activities. And you'll be able to see an archive. This is going to kind of show you things that you have found. Obviously, this account is newish and hasn't found anything. You'll see your different ranks here. Discoveries is pretty self-explanatory. This is things that you have discovered. The main thing you need to be aware is that this is currently for the region you are in, and the game map has quite a lot of regions. So, if you have found a A-type star in the Orion Spur, well, you haven't found it in another one. If you are interested in finding it in a place, simply go to that entry, click to open it up, and you'll be able to see where one was reported, who reported it, and when it was reported. This is if you want to just fill this out if you are a completionist or if you're looking for something very specific for a certain reason. Your knowledge base is going to be for in-game lore about all the things that are going on, the Federation, the Empire, the Guardians, the Thargoids, the various in-game lore. This is where you would come to basically bone up on the world of Elite Dangerous, the universe of Elite Dangerous, I should say, and the Pilot's Handbook. This is a text guide that will tell you what you need to know, at least the basics, about different types of play, about mercenary work, bounty hunting, trade, and smuggling. Kind of what you're watching right now, except in a dull text form that doesn't actually move or talk to you. And that, guys, is the very basics of what you will see when you first start Elite Dangerous and the things that you should make sure to familiarize yourself with so that you can navigate smoothly and efficiently and know exactly what you are doing. It's a lot, and there is a lot more to come, but I hope that you guys found the information useful and helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. Keep an eye on the channel for more videos coming in this series where we will deep dive into the different functions that I have talked about in brief today. If you're here to the end, thank you. Watch time is key on YouTube. My name is Dimebot. I will see you guys next time.